The slow drip, how I watched my marriage die for 6 months. You don't realize you're living in a before picture until after. The after arrives quietly, not with a bang or a screaming fight, but with a phone left on the kitchen counter, face up, screen still glowing. And in that glow, a message that rewrites every memory you own. But let me start earlier. Let me tell you how it felt to be happy without knowing it. We met in our 20s, the way people met back then, through friends, at a bar, a conversation about something stupid like whether hot dogs or sandwiches. 3 hours later, the bar was closing and we were still talking. She laughed at my jokes. I made her laugh on purpose just to hear it again. We moved in together after a year, got married after 3, no kids, not because we didn't want them, but because we kept saying next year. Next year became 5 years, then 7, then we stopped saying it. The marriage wasn't perfect, no marriage is, but it was ours. We had routines that felt like home. Sunday morning coffee on the couch, her feet in my lap, grocery shopping on Thursdays because the store was empty, a running joke about who loved the dog more, me, obviously, but she'd never admit it. I thought we were solid. I thought the quiet meant comfort, not distance. I was wrong about everything. It started small, so small I almost didn't notice. She began coming home late from work, not every night, just once a week, then twice. Traffic, she'd say, a project. I didn't question it. Why would I? Then her phone started buzzing at odd hours. She'd glance at it, smile, and put it face down. When I asked who it was, she said, work stuff, and changed the subject. The first real lie came on a Tuesday in March. She said she had a dinner with clients. I offered to drive her. She said no, too quickly. Then she softened it with a kiss and said, "You hate downtown traffic anyway." She left at 6 p.m. She said she'd be home by 10. At 11, I texted, "Everything okay?" She replied at 11:30, "Sorry, long dinner, heading home now." She walked in at 12:45 a.m. Her hair was different, not messy from a long dinner, but freshly washed. She smelled like hotel soap, not restaurant air. I asked how the dinner went. She described a restaurant I later learned had been closed for renovations. That was the first lie I caught. It was not the last. The second lie came 2 weeks later. She told me she was going to visit her sister for the weekend. Her sister lived 3 hours away. We'd done that trip together a dozen times. "I need some sister time," she said. "You understand, right?" Of course I understood. I packed her a bag. I kissed her goodbye. I told her to tell her sister I said hello. That weekend, I called her sister's house on Saturday afternoon, just to chat. Her sister answered. "Oh, she's not here," her sister said. "I thought she was with you." My stomach turned into a fist. "She said she was driving down to see you," I said, keeping my voice light. "No," her sister said slowly. "She hasn't been here in months. Is everything okay?" I lied. I said I must have misunderstood the dates. I hung up. I sat on the couch for an hour, not moving, not thinking, just breathing. When my wife came home Sunday night, I asked her how her sister was. "Good," she said. "We had such a nice time. You should have come." I said nothing. That was the second lie. I saved it like a coin in my pocket, small, cold, heavy. The third lie was the one that broke me open. By now, 4 months had passed. I had stopped asking questions. Not because I believed her, but because I was afraid of what I'd find. But the third lie came to me. I didn't go looking for it. She left her phone in the bathroom. She'd been drinking, a rare thing for her, and she forgot to take it to bed. I found it on the counter at 2 a.m. when I got up to use the bathroom. The screen was dark. I shouldn't have touched it. I know that. A good husband would have walked away. I picked it up. The passcode was still our anniversary. She hadn't changed it. Either she trusted me completely, or she never thought I'd look. I opened her messages. There was a thread pinned at the top. A name I didn't recognize. Male name, let's call him C. The most recent message was from that night, sent while I was asleep in the next room. Tonight was perfect. Can't wait to see you again. Her reply, me neither. He's asleep. I'll call you tomorrow. I scrolled up. Weeks of messages. Months. Photos I wish I could unsee. Plans for hotel rooms, lunch breaks, a weekend trip to a city she told me was a work conference. He was married too. I found his social media in 10 minutes. Wife, 2 kids, a golden retriever, a house with a porch. They had been seeing each other for over a year. I put the phone back, I went back to bed. I lay next to her for the rest of the night, listening to her breathe, and I did not sleep. In the morning, she woke up, kissed my shoulder, and said, I love you. I said it back. That was the 3rd lie, and it was mine. The month that followed was the strangest of my life. I didn't confront her. I didn't cry. I didn't pack a bag. Instead, I became a student of my own marriage, watching, listening, cataloging every lie as it happened. She told me she was working late. I watched her leave, then followed her to a hotel parking lot. I sat in my car and watched her meet him. They walked inside together, her hand on his arm. I took a photo. Then I went home and made myself dinner. She told me she was going to a yoga class. I knew she didn't do yoga. I checked her location, sharing she forgot I had access. She was at his house. For 3 hours, I saved the location history. She told me she loved me. She looked me in the eyes when she said it. I said it back. This is what betrayal does. It turns you into a ghost in your own life. You go through the motions, work, dinner, sleep, repeat, but you're not really there. You're watching yourself from above, waiting for the moment when you'll finally do something. I waited 31 days. The voicemail came on a Wednesday. She was in the shower. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. I picked it up without thinking. A voicemail notification from him. I pressed play. His voice was low, warm, intimate, the way you talk when you think no one else is listening. Hey, last night was... I don't even have words. I've never felt this way about anyone. I know we said we wouldn't do this, but I think I'm falling in love with you. Call me when you can. The message was 47 seconds long. I listened to it 3 times. Then I saved it. I forwarded it to myself. I deleted the forwarding confirmation. I put her phone back exactly where I found it. She came out of the shower, wrapped in a towel, and asked what I wanted for dinner. I said, whatever you want. That voicemail sat in a hidden folder on my phone for 6 weeks. I listened to it sometimes, in the car, alone when she was working late. Each time, it hurt less. Each time, I felt less and less attached to the life I thought I had. The voicemail was my truth. Everything else was just noise. I am not a vengeful person. I never have been. But I am patient. And pain, when you hold it long enough, turns into something else. Something cold and sharp and quiet. I spent the next several weeks preparing. First, I consulted a lawyer. Not the dramatic kind you see in movies, just a quiet woman in a small office who listened to my story without blinking. She told me what to gather: financial records, proof of the affair, documentation of every lie. Second, I started collecting screenshots of messages, photos from the hotel parking lot, copies of credit card charges for restaurants I'd never been to, location history, the voicemail. I built a file. It grew to 80 pages. Third, I stopped pretending to be happy. Not intentionally, it just happened. I stopped asking about her day. I stopped reaching for her hand. I stopped saying, I love you first. She didn't notice. That was the saddest part. She didn't notice. I chose a Sunday. No reason, really. It was raining. The dog was asleep on the couch. We were drinking coffee. The same Sunday coffee we'd shared 1,000 times. I set my mug down. "We need to talk," I said. She looked up from her phone. "About what?" I pulled out the file. 80 pages, bound with a black clip. I set it on the coffee table between us. "I know about him," I said. "I've known for months." She didn't deny it. She didn't cry. She just stared at the file like it was a snake. "How long?" she asked. "Long enough." The silence stretched. The rain got louder. Then she said the thing I will never forget. "Are you going to leave me?" Not, "I'm sorry," not, "It was a mistake." Just, "Are you going to leave me?" I realized in that moment that she wasn't afraid of losing me. She was afraid of losing the life I provided, the house, the stability, the safety net. I was not a husband to her anymore. I was a contingency plan. "No," I said. "I'm not leaving." Relief flickered across her face. "Because I'm not the one who has to leave," I said. "You are." The next hour was ugly. She cried. She begged. She blamed me for working too much, for not being romantic enough, for making her feel invisible. She said it was just physical, it didn't mean anything. He was nothing. I was everything. I listened to all of it. I didn't argue. I didn't comfort her. When she was done, I laid out the terms. She would move out within 30 days. She would take only what she brought into the marriage. She would sign a separation agreement giving me the house, the dog, and the retirement accounts. She would not ask for alimony. In exchange, I would not send the 80-page file to her employer. She and her affair partner worked at the same company. I would not send it to his wife. I would not post it online. I would simply let her go. She signed that night. She moved out on day 29. She took 2 suitcases and a box of books. She left her wedding ring on the kitchen counter. I found it the next morning. I put it in a drawer. I haven't opened that drawer since. The first month alone was the hardest. The house was too quiet. The dog kept looking at her chair. I caught myself buying 2 of everything at the grocery store, 2 cartons of milk, 2 loaves of bread. Before I remembered, I didn't tell anyone at first. The shame was too heavy. I told myself I should have seen it sooner. I told myself I should have been better. I told myself 1,000 lies that felt like truths. Then I started telling the real truth to a therapist, to a few close friends, to a support group online, and the shame started to lift. Not all at once, but slowly. 6 months after she left, I deleted the voicemail. I had kept it the whole time. 47 seconds of proof that my marriage had ended before I knew it was dying. I listened to it one last time, sitting in my car in a parking lot, rain on the windshield. His voice was still warm, still intimate, still the voice of a man who thought he was in love. But it wasn't my story anymore. I pressed delete. The message was gone. And for the first time in a year, I breathed. If you're reading this and you're where I was, suspicious, hurting, afraid to look at the phone, here's what I want you to know. Trust is not about being right. It's about being safe. When you can't feel safe with someone anymore, the marriage is already over. The affair is just the symptom. I don't regret how I handled it. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I didn't destroy her life, even though I could have. I just let her go. And in letting her go, I finally set myself free. The dog is still here. The house is still here. The Sunday coffee is still here. But now I drink it alone, and that's okay. I'm not looking for someone new. I'm not bitter. I'm not healed exactly, but I'm healing. And that's enough. TLDR, she lied for months. I gathered proof. She moved out. I kept the dog. The voicemail is gone. I'm still standing. Subscribe for more.